Hi Vogue, it's Jessie Inchuspe, also known as Glucose Goddess, and I'm so happy to welcome you in my Paris apartment for the first episode of the new series Wellness Check with Vogue France. And in this first episode, I'm gonna show you everything I eat in a day for optimal energy, no more cravings, and helping your short-term and long-term health. So you're gonna follow me throughout the entire day, and the Vogue team here is gonna challenge me.
Yes, Vogue is gonna challenge you.
In lots of practical cases. You'll learn all of my hacks. Come with me. So today, my dears, I'm gonna show you what I have for breakfast, what I order at a restaurant for lunch, how I handle the 4 p.m. snacks at the office, and what I cook for my friends at dinner. So the first most important hack in my method to keep your glucose level steady is to have a savory breakfast. Science shows us that if you eat sugar in the morning, you're gonna have a big glucose spike and then your entire day is gonna be cravings and fatigue. So what do you wanna do? You start your day with protein. And if you're bored of eggs, you can have like Greek yogurt, tofu, leftover meat, leftover fish from last night. Add some healthy fat. Here I'm gonna put some feta and some butter. And why not some little cherry tomatoes. So having a savory breakfast in the morning is gonna help you so much feel amazing. If your whole life you've been having cereal and orange juice, this is a game changer. So this is my little breakfast table.
And what if I don't have time to eat breakfast?
Common question. If you literally have 90 seconds to get out the door, my favorite way to have a savory breakfast is to do Greek yogurt, tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter. Make sure it's unsweetened, doesn't contain any extra oils or anything. That's a really easy way to get your protein and your fat and make sure that your glucose is set up to be steady for the whole day. And whatever time your breakfast is, whether it's at 7 a.m. or if your first meal of the day is at 2 p.m., the same rule always applies. Never have something sweet on an empty stomach, because when your stomach is empty, your body is super sensitive and anything you give it is gonna arrive really quickly into your bloodstream.
And is coffee bad?
Is coffee bad? Let's talk about that at the coffee shop. Other hack, pimp your coffee. Come. Okay guys, full disclosure, I'm completely addicted to coffee. I try to quit every 2 days, but I can't, it's just too good.
What is your coffee order today?
My coffee order is flat white with full fat dairy milk. And I hate this idea that oat milk is good for you for some reason. Oat milk is just starch juice. It's like drinking a coffee with pasta milk or rice milk. It's a nightmare for your glucose levels. Now, if you want to have something that's not dairy, I recommend almond milk or coconut milk, unsweetened always. So check the back of the package and make sure there's no extra added sugar in there.
And what about what's behind you?
All those delicious little pastries. If you can't resist, it's always better to choose a savory pastry over a sweet one. If I had to choose here something, I would have the cheddar scone over there. But if you really want this very tasty cookie, here's what you do. You buy it now, but you eat it for dessert after your lunch. That's another hack. Remember, never have sugar on an empty stomach, only as dessert after a meal for a smaller spike, and so you can feel better. Welcome to lunch. I'm having lunch at a restaurant and I want to show you exactly how I pick what I'm going to eat. So the first thing I look at on a menu is the starters. I'm looking for a starter that is vegetable based because vegetables contain fiber. And it's important to start your meals with fiber to protect your body against glucose spikes. And the reason being that fiber creates a sort of protective mesh in your intestine when you eat it first during a meal. And that protection stays in place and reduces the glucose spike of the rest of the meal. So always looking for veggies first. Then for my main, I'll choose whatever protein that I'm fancying that day. I think today I'm gonna have some fish. And then, because I love carbs, I go to the side dishes and I pick some nice tasty carbs, maybe the mashed potatoes here, that I will have after the veggies and after the protein at the end of the meal to get all the enjoyment from them, but reduce their glucose spike. Oh my God, this is the worst way to start my meal. If you start your meal with bread being 100% starch, all that glucose in the starch is gonna go straight to your bloodstream and create a big glucose spike. And you know what? I actually think there's a sort of conspiracy theory going on in restaurants, because if I was a restaurant owner and I wanted somebody to, 90 minutes after they start eating, really wanna have something sweet, I would serve them bread first. Bread first, big spike, 90 minutes later, crash, and then I want to order dessert. So keep the bread for after the main dish to reduce its glucose spike. As my veggie starter, I got the tomatoes. Now you might wonder, are tomatoes really appropriate for a veggie starter? Aren't tomatoes super sweet and high in sugar? The answer is yes. I mean, in the big family of vegetables, and I know tomatoes are a fruit, but I put them in the vegetable category. Don't sue me. So in the big category of veggie starters, tomatoes are a bit sweeter than, say, broccoli or salad, but they're still so high in fiber that they have that same protective effect. So if you love tomatoes, tomatoes are a great veggie starter. Lovely, thank you. So this order of veggies first, then proteins and fats, and then carbs is really easy to reproduce, but you should only do it when it's easy, not if you're having a sort of mixed meal or something that's complicated to spread out. And this evening, for example, for my friends, I'm gonna be reusing this same food order to reduce the spike of the meal. So remember, veggies first, then proteins and fats, then carbs and sugars. And that way you can eat all the stuff you love with less impact on your glucose levels, fewer consequences on your physical and mental health. Bon appétit! And a new hack I've recently added to the beautiful family of hacks is to take a little anti-spike capsule before the meal of your day highest in carbs. These plants in anti-spike are the most powerful to help your glucose levels short-term and long-term. So I should have done this before my lunch, but I didn't because I was talking. Oops.
But how is it possible to reproduce a body mechanism with pills?
So anti-spike is not trying to reproduce anything. It's an extra helping hand to reduce the spike of your meal. And the way it works is that anti-spike has mulberry leaf in it, and mulberry leaf contains a really cool molecule called DNJ. And DNJ interacts with your digestive enzymes and prevents your body from absorbing about 40% of the glucose in the meal you're about to have. And you can add anti-spike to your other hacks. It works perfectly in concert. Now it is time for our post-meal power walk. Let us go!
I have friends who have become obsessed with your method and who feel like they fail when they don't do it perfectly. What do you advise them to do?
I think my main piece of advice would be to think about the hacks like you would think about general wellness principles like brush your teeth, wear sunscreen, drink enough water. These are things that we can keep with us for our whole lives, and if one day we don't do them, it's fine. We don't have to become stressed out about them. The hacks are not a diet that you can fail at. They're like little fairy godmothers that you keep in your pocket and that you use when it's easy to use them. But if at any point it's stressful, then just don't do it, Take care of yourself. Another very important hack is to move after eating. Science says that even a 10-minute walk after a big meal can significantly reduce the glucose spike. So you can walk, you can dance, you can go to the gym, you can clean your apartment. Whatever gets your muscles moving is going to reduce the spike of the meal you just had.
And what do you say to people who say that glucose spikes cannot grow?
Small spikes are fine, but if your glucose gets into a damaging range, it's actually going to cause problems in your body. A glucose spike into a damaging range might be caused by eating a big sweet breakfast, orange juice, too much sugar, too much candy, a big bowl of pasta with no protein, no fiber. And those we really want to avoid because they create glycation, inflammation, and insulin release in the body, which are actually bad for you. We don't have to keep our glucose levels perfectly flat, but we must steady them if we want to help our health short-term and long-term.
Okay, but don't we need sugar for energy?
No, we don't need sugar for energy. That's one of the biggest lies ever invented. Even if you don't eat any sugar or any carbs, your body will make from within all of the glucose that it needs. Okay guys, now let's go to the Vogue offices and have a look at what snacks they're eating. I think they need some help. Welcome to the Vogue offices. Let's go find the snack cupboard. So, when we eat something like dried fruit as a snack, we may think it's giving us energy because sugar releases dopamine in the brain, and dopamine is the pleasure molecule. But actually on the inside, dried fruit is just like a big sugar bomb. So it might taste good, but it'll make you tired in 1 hour. Rice cakes, confiture. Rice cakes sound healthy, lots of marketing telling you they're healthy. They're just starch, a big glucose bomb again, and here's just more sugar. So sugar plus starch, big spike. I mean, chocolate. Chocolate is not great for you. So I'll give this a pass because if you're eating chocolate, you know what it is and you're not being fooled by any marketing. Fruit yogurts. Oat milk. These may sound like they're good for you, but again, a lot of sugar, big glucose spikes. So all of these snacks are gonna give you short-term dopamine, but on the inside, the glucose spikes they create are gonna harm your physical and mental health, your energy, give you cravings, and hurt your brain.
So what do we do?
I will be back in 5 minutes. Okay, I did a little shopping spree for the Vogue team. First of all, unsweetened almond milk instead of the oat milk. Second, nice sourdough bread instead of the rice cakes. Then, replace the jam with unsweetened nut butter. I would definitely recommend changing this kind of chocolate for a simple, nice dark chocolate with less sugar in it. And let's replace these little sweet yogurt sugar bombs with a simple Greek yogurt in which you can add some frozen berries and some more nut butter if you want. And then finally, the dried fruit, bye-bye. We will replace them with apples and, to reduce the spike of the fruit, some nuts. And voila! Now we're gonna go shopping because I'm making dinner for some friends tonight and I'm taking you with me. Let's go! I still have lots of hacks to share with you. I'm gonna get ready to cook dinner for my friends and I'll see you inside. Tonight, the menu is the following. First of all, I'm making one of my favorite veggie starters. It's a miso-based dressing spinach salad. It's the recipe of my cousin Arthur. It's unbelievable. Then baked salmon, baked sweet potatoes, and lots of chocolate for dessert, because I love chocolate. But Vogue, before you go, we gotta talk about something. We gotta talk about vinegar, and I have to make you a vinegar mocktail. Now, why vinegar? Because vinegar is an amazing ingredient. Vinegar, and it can be any type of vinegar, contains a molecule called acetic acid. And acetic acid reduces the glucose spike of carbs that you eat afterwards. So the hack is 1 tablespoon of vinegar in a big glass of water or as a dressing on your veggie starter or in a mocktail before the meal of your day, highest in carbs.
And what about the acidity effect on the stomach and digestive?
Well, there's a lot of myths going around that vinegar is bad for your stomach. It's not bad for your stomach. It's less acidic than your gastric juices. It's less acidic than Coca-Cola or lemon juice. The teeth thing is true though. You have to always make sure that your vinegar is diluted. Never, never, never have it as a shot. That's a very, very bad idea.
And what about alcohol?
There's no two ways around it, guys. There's no amount of alcohol that is good for our health. And my philosophy is, if you're gonna drink alcohol, have the one you like the most. It's a pleasure decision, not a health decision. And if you don't drink, a little vinegar mocktail like this with sparkling water does the trick.
And even red wine is bad?
So red wine does contain antioxidants, and it's a little bit the same idea as antioxidants in honey. It's not because red wine or honey contains antioxidants that it's good for you. It still contains a lot of poison. In the case of red wine, it's alcohol, and in the case of honey, it's lots and lots of sugar. So if you love red wine, I mean, go for it. But the antioxidants don't magically turn it into a health drink. And here we go. 1 for you and 1 for me. Cheers.